USC, this is Ronald Jones. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. After the penalty, it's Jones. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game, as he'll lose yardage to start things out. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
At the 28-yard line. Ready, white 25. Watch 25. Hey, keep it up, keep it up.
On play action, Winston. And Blake, the tight end's got it. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball, because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
To throw, Winston. And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 22. This is Chris Carson, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. To throw is Wilson. And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. Shaquille Barrett put that sack by his name in the stat sheet.
2 plays so far, a run and a pass attempt, and both have gone backwards.
Probably not how they drew that up.
Not at all.
Looking for a better play coming up on 3rd. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The former #1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney, able to record his 5th sack of the season. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Winston, a handoff. This is Jones. And the result here the same as the last play. Another tackle behind the line of scrimmage by this Seahawk defense.
No surprise there, Jadeveon Clowney with a tackle for loss. We all know how he became one of the most famous players in football, though, don't we remember?
Oh, that one play.
Yeah, that one big-time play was on highlights everywhere. They want to see more of that here in the NFL.
Throwing, Winston. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys are a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went
and now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here.
Hey, let's get some penetration here.
On 2nd and 9, Wilson, and an alley to run. And he's dropped just shy of the 25 at the 24. The rushing numbers for Wilson maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. It's complete to Lockett. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They go play action now. Wilson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Vernon Hargraves with a pick. And it's a pick six. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
Oh, I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
On 2nd down, it's Carson. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now Wilson on 1st down. Oh, incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it there, and it'll be 2nd down. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. To throw again. Wilson. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Again, Wilson. Dancing to his left. He can run for it, and he will.
And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Let's go.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
5 on the 50. 5 on the 50. Green, triple C.
Jameis to throw it. Airing this one out for Evans. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And now it's 3rd down.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. He's got Evans. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating? The guys who just gave up that play.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? To throw is Winston. Incomplete. He had his hands on it, but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. The sack by the Super Bowl champion and Pro Bowler Jason Pierre-Paul.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
To try again after the sack. Wilson, and his throw here's incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. And it'll bring up 3rd down. The Seahawks on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and a mile. Now it's Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw it back deep over the middle. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
25 behind. 27. Hey, here we go. Wait, 5-0.
On second down, it's Jones. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Bringing him to the ground defensively, Tedrick Thompson.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. The Bucs on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 15. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
12 yards on the return that time. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. They caught by Jerome Brown. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. So even with the pass interference, it's a completed pass. They'll go ahead and just take the play instead.
How about the effort? Making the catch despite the pass interference. Nothing else to be gained on the play. No need to take the penalty. The play stands.
An inaugural trip to the red zone here for the Seahawks. 1st and 10 at the 19. And he's got the hook up to Moore. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door. So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Chris Carson, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks have taken the lead. CD, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. Extra point up and through by Myers. And the lead is now 10-7. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They go play action. Winston. On the crossing route, complete. That's Hudson.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
Here's Winston. Airing this one out for Evans. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Third and short yardage, Winston. Flush to his right. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up fourth.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And with still more than a minute to go in the half, time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
To throw again on second down. Wilson looking left side. That's caught by Moore. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
First and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense. Ankle. Here we go. Hey, watch.
Throwing now. Wilson on first down. To the right side, and he's got more complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime.
Hey, 0.
Play action. It's Wilson. He's going to let this one go deep. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock. He was trying to go back to Moore there. And now it's second down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive. And finally, I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him. Made it very tough for him to get the ball.
To throw once more on second and 10. Wilson, he'll take a shot for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Able to get there and pick it. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half.
First and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Final play of the half here, Winston going to get this out to Evans. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Let's go.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you turn that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. On first down, Wilson. He's going to look deep down the field. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete.
Let's go.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson. Buying time to his left. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir, able to turn that into a positive gain. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Wilson. It's caught. Block it. A 1st down there on a pickup of 25.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
Not only was that a terrific play, but that loss of yardage they created, this close to their own goal line, that gives them a little breathing room now as they move them back.
And they're breathing fire a little bit right now, aren't they?
A lot of confidence being shown by them at this point of the game.
On 3rd and goal, Wilson steps away to his left. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there, because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Now Eckler. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 15 yards on the play, 1st down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the 1st down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Winston. He's got that one complete to Darbo. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
Ready?
Winston. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
But we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the #1 receiver double covered, but how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
They're not ready for this, man. 5 on the 50. 5 on the 50. 5 on the 50. Y'all playing the wrong stuff. Mike, 55. Check, 55. You guys play.
To the air again with Winston. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw, and that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super tough.
On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson. That's complete into the hands of Carson. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 79 yards.
Check 52. Switch. Hold up. Hey, 0.
They'll try to run with Carson. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Chris Carson, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. From the shotgun, Wilson. And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
A good spot to throw, and indeed they'll come out with 4 wide receivers here on 2nd and inches. Throwing, Winston. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this 3rd quarter.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On 3rd down, Winston. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. The Bucs go for it. It's Winston. And this is caught, but they say out of bounds. It would have been a first down, but he couldn't stay in, and as a result, they're going to have to give up the football. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. They'll run on first down. Carson.
Run, and run.
A tough run gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further.
Get him, boys. Get him, boys.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. They run again with Carson. And only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And the Seahawks on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. To throw is Wilson. From the gun, he'll throw. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Will Dissly, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Myers connects on the PAT. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
We got this.
The Bucs take over 1st and 10.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Winston now. He finds Howard complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
This game just keeps evolving and changing, doesn't it? You got a tight end who can move around a lot, not necessarily using a big body on him. Sometimes you take a corner, a better cover guy, and put him on him and try and take him out of the game as we've seen in this one.
You're exactly right. They've taken him out of the game. That was just his first catch. Big reason they're losing right now. A familiar ring to that one. Winston to Evans for the Buccaneer first. A first down throw for Winston. And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. Jaron Reed able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Tedrick Thompson picks it.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
After the interception, here's Wilson. He's got the first down inside the 10. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Now it's Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Seahawks capitalize on this short field as they take it in for 6. Extra point up and through by Myers. And that'll increase their lead to 28. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. Facing this fourth quarter deficit, felt like they had to throw the ball, and on the other side, they were ready.
No doubt about it. They're playing situational football. They look at the clock, they know the lead that they have, and all they're doing is playing pass on every down.
Playing the pass, picking it off, and now big time in the driver's seat. He's going to look deep for more. And almost intercepted. It would have been his second pick of the game. Instead, it'll be second down.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
54's Mike. 54's Mike.
Second and 10. It's Wilson again. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that's caught inside the 35. It's a big play there for Seattle. 46 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's first and 10 just outside the 30. He lets it, and this is caught. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. 33 yards that time. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They've got it first and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. Now it's Wilson. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. They're still throwing the football here. Now, obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. Now, a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Maybe you do start to watch. Is the arm there, the leg's still there? This has been a tough game.
25, check 25, check. Punch left.
Here's Wilson. Going to throw on third and goal. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. How about the defensive stand here from first and goal? 3 straight incompletion.
Yeah, I think people are wondering why didn't they try and run it at least once in there. But once the first incompletion happened, it's almost like they were committed to throwing the ball from then on out.
And they're going to go for this thing. They're not going to leave anything to chance. They're going to roll the dice on fourth and goal. And that is incomplete, but there is a flag. And on fourth down, this is a big call. So they decline the penalty. That seems a little odd.
I'm trying to work through it and work with them to figure out why?
Well, someone's got to be confused.
That's what I think. I'm pretty sure that the bench is saying take the penalty, and somehow in the heat of the moment, they thought they were saying decline the penalty.
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does them in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, "Why didn't you do that?" And they all looked at me and said, "Just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through." And now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Well, the incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Wilson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 38-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
First and 10.
Now a timeout called for by the defense as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game.
Mike's by 4. I'm coming for you, son. I'm coming. Right left. Ball trot. 54, Mike. 12. Check, watch 12.
Wilson wants to throw it. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 33 seconds remaining. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Here's Wilson, eluding the pressure right. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. And almost intercepted. It would have been his 2nd pick of the game. Instead, it'll be 2nd down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off down near the 5. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
Drop deep.
They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
On second down now, it's Jones. He's going to have the first down past the 20. And a little bit of a consolation prize there. He's into the end zone. Won't win them the game, but they do get the score with all zeros showing.
But some fantasy players are really happy with that score.
Doesn't affect the outcome, but, hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. Just a formality now, but here's the extra point. And he missed it. It wouldn't have mattered. They were going to lose either way, but the game ends strangely on a missed PAT. Well, in this one, partner, we had some action all the way down to the final whistle there with the late points and then the kickoff to end it.
Yeah, and the best part about it is just seeing how teams battled all the way to the end, you know. Didn't really matter. The scoreboard was pretty well set, but they still competed until the final whistle.
So for the Seahawks, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, the struggles intensify as they drop to 2-6 now on the year. And they'll get